ahead and do another submission for my Trying to Conceive blog slash journal slash video blog. But yeah, I'm excited to share some news with you guys. So I'm gonna make this video in 2 parts. So the first part will be like a summary of what we did the cycle to try to help our chances of conceiving. And I talked a little bit about it in my previous video, but I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. So like I was saying before, sorry, I have it all written down, so you might see me looking down. Okay, so for this cycle, I used vitamin B6, which I've heard can help with progesterone levels and implantation and that kind of thing. So I've been taking 50 milligrams of that. I'm also on baby aspirin, which is aspirin that's 81 milligrams. So that's because I have blood clotting problems, so I need to be taking that while trying to conceive. I'm on a prenatal vitamin. The other thing we tried this cycle was Mucinex, actually. I've heard things about Mucinex, and it's tough because I'm a nurse, so a lot of the stuff I like to do is like evidence-based practice, and I like to have research articles on things, and this one was more like, why not? I'm not 100% convinced that Mucinex does anything in terms of trying to conceive, but I have heard that Mucinex, like, it thins out the mucus of your lungs, but it also thins out all your other kinds of mucus, and it makes certain things easier to swim. So I was at the Dollar Tree and I saw Mucinex there for $1, and it just had like 15 pills or something like that. The very most generic basic Mucinex that only lasts for like 4 hours, and I was like, you know what, I'll throw it in with my other vitamins. It's not a big deal, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then it's $1. So I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. The other thing that we used, so we've been using this every cycle for years, because not that we've been trying to conceive for years, but we used this when I was trying not to get pregnant too, to kind of track my cycles. We used OPKs, which are ovulation predictor kits, which were super helpful this cycle, because I don't know if it was the Mucinex or what, or like the B6 or whatever I'm taking, but I had like signs, let's say, of fertility way before I ovulated. Like 3 days before I ovulated, which I know doesn't seem like way before, but 3 days before I had like the egg white stuff that everyone talks about. And I had that 3 days beforehand, so that was really weird for me, because I'm usually like able to track cycles really easily and I know what to look for, and so that was really surprising to me. So, but I used OPKs, so when that happened I thought that I was ovulating, so we made like baby dancing a priority. And then when I when I used OPKs, it was saying that it was negative, and I was like, well, maybe I missed my LH surge, so which is the surge you get before you ovulate. You can miss it. So, but I kept taking them like religiously every single day, and then I had a spike 3 days later, and I was like, oh, I guess I was just off, and maybe it was like hormones or something. Anyways, so that was funny. Good times. So I'm glad we used OPKs, is what I'm saying. The other thing that's brand new to this cycle is I was doing some reading online, and I heard amazing things about like, pre-seed and that kind of stuff. And so we decided to try a version of that called Conceive Plus. Now, the reason why we chose Conceive Plus is they had really good reviews, and it's FDA approved, which, as a nurse, again, big fan of things that are FDA approved and have research backing them and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, not that pre-seed is bad or anything or worse, it's just that I couldn't find as much information about it. So I was like, all right, we'll use this other brand called Conceive Plus, and we used that internally when we were baby dancing, which was a good time. So, and then the other things that were going on the cycle is I bought my husband something called maca root. Now, I don't know if I can take maca root. I have a lot of food allergies, so I don't take anything unless I know it's safe for me to take. So I am not taking maca root, but I gave it to my husband, who's all about supplements. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that he works for a supplement company, so he was like, ooh, maca root. And I'm like, yeah, I bought this for you, for us trying to conceive and everything, so give that a shot. So I gave him maca root, and he's also been taking a high-quality multivitamin, just for added support and that kind of thing. It has like zinc and that kind of stuff in it, so I figured that's helpful. So the main thing that we did differently this cycle, so those are all things that we did. The number one thing that was different about this cycle, which makes me feel good about this cycle, I always feel good about my cycles, but especially this cycle, is that we made baby dancing a priority. It was like, okay, no matter what's going on in our lives, whether I'm working a night shift or you have a late meeting or whatever, I'm like, we need to make this a priority, because I don't want to like be trying all these different vitamins and supplements and whatever and like have it not work just because we're not doing our part. Like, and for those of you, sorry, for those of you not actively involved in the trying to conceive community, baby dancing is, you know, being intimate with your husband when you are trying to make a baby, etc. But this time it was like, okay, no matter what's going on in our lives, because what happened in previous cycles and what's happened is that, you know, I work night shifts and he works day shifts, and he would come home and he would be exhausted, and I would have just woken up, and we'd be like eating a little bit of dinner together, and then I have to start packing up my stuff, and then I have to go to work, and then by the time I get home, he's already gone, and it was like, when is this going to happen? So, but I had some very wise advice from a friend who was like, you know what? You can do things whenever you want. Like, you don't have to like do things before you go to bed, or she's like, just do whatever you want. Like, anyways, very sage advice, and I took it to heart. And so what was really funny about it, so when I started having fertility signs 3 days before I ovulated, I was like, oh boy, we gotta get on this. So, so we made it a priority, and I've heard a lot of people say that like when you are like baby dancing frequently just to try to conceive, it can be kind of like not as much fun as when you're just doing it to do it, and because you love each other. And so, and I guess like a little piece of that is true. And the first 2 days, it felt very like, okay, we have to just like make time for this, and we have to just like get her done. And then, but then after that, it became really fun. It was like, oh, I know that we're gonna do this tonight, and like we're like looking forward to that. We're like, oh, we know that we're gonna do this, and it was actually really fun for me too, because I feel like I'm such like a busybody most of the time, and I always have stuff I can do. Like, there's always a load of laundry to do. There's always dishes to be done. There's always a drawer that needs to be cleaned out, and for like 1 week straight, I honestly didn't do anything. Like, I am about to start a load of laundry because I have to. Like, I have to do laundry. It's not even funny. And for a week straight, I didn't have time, because I'd wake up, he'd come home, and we'd be like, all right, let's hang out together. And then the other thing I did differently too is, you know, one of the other problems we were having is that like even if we baby danced, I have to get up and go to work, and then things wouldn't stay where they're supposed to. So this time we made sure that we like were together right when he came home and right when I woke up from, you know, sleeping during the day after my shift. And then I usually have like an hour and a half before I have to leave for work. So we would just hang out. We have a show that we've been watching recently on Netflix, yay, binge watching. And so we would just hang out in bed together and just like watch some Netflix for a while and eat a snack and like just hang out. Not like I wasn't getting up and doing laundry, I wasn't getting up and doing dishes, I wasn't getting up and, you know, putting things away, I wasn't decluttering, I wasn't vacuuming. Like, for 1 week straight, it was like a vacation for me, actually. I was like, wow, it's important that I don't do anything except be with my husband and lay on the bed for 2 hours at a time. So I gotta say, for all those out there that say like, oh, baby dancing, like when you're trying to conceive, it's not nearly as much fun. I had a great time. I was like, I don't know about you, Kyle, my husband. I was like, I don't know about you, but this feels like a vacation. Like, we haven't stressed about anything. We haven't done anything. Like, you know, it was awesome. So for those that are having problems out there with that, I say just make the best of it and have a good time. And like, honestly, I think I was in such a good mood the whole week that we were doing that, because I was so like de-stressed, and yay, oxytocin and all those other awesome hormones that come from baby dancing. So that's what we did differently this cycle. And like I said, I'm gonna make 2 videos about what's going on right now, because otherwise this would be crazy long. I can already see on my camera, it's already over 10 minutes. So I wanna make sure that I don't bore you guys for forever. So I will talk a little bit about some symptoms that I had and all of that good stuff. So I'll talk briefly about when I actually ovulated the cycle. Normally, I don't know if I've mentioned this either. I can never remember what I've mentioned when I haven't. Sorry, guys. So, so normally when I ovulate, I get nauseous, and then I also have symptoms of like heartburn and that kind of stuff. This time I actually did feel myself ovulate, so that's a really good sign. But But yeah, so that's it for right now. Tune into the next video that I'm going to make about what's actually happening right now in my cycle, because this was a few days ago and I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. So that's all for right now, and if you like, subscribe. Bye!